Sometimes life feels heavy. Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, replaying a moment from years ago? Maybe you said something you regret, or made a mistake that hurt someone close to you. These moments of regret, of self-blame, can feel like a shadow, always following you. It's natural to feel this way. We want to be good people. We want to live without causing harm. But when we make mistakes, as all humans do, we often turn inward. We criticize ourselves, sometimes harshly. We call ourselves names: fool, failure, or worse. But let me ask you this. Does this criticism bring you peace? Does punishing yourself over and over again make the situation better? In Buddhism, there is a word, dukkha. It means suffering, or the pain of life. Self-blame is one form of this suffering. And just like all forms of suffering, it doesn't simply disappear on its own. We have to understand it. Self-blame can feel like responsibility. You might think, if I don't hold myself accountable, who will? But there's a difference between learning from our mistakes and chaining ourselves to them. Think about carrying a heavy stone. At first, it might feel like the right thing to do. But over time, it weighs you down. It makes every step harder. And what happens when you carry that stone for years? Your body aches, your spirit weakens, you lose the energy to see the beauty in life, to connect with others, to live fully. This is the trap of self-blame. It makes us believe that suffering is necessary for growth. But growth comes from understanding, not punishment. If you feel burdened by shame, I want to offer you a thought. Your mistakes do not define you. They are moments in time, not the whole story of who you are. The fact that you feel regret means you care. It means you have compassion for yourself and for others. So instead of carrying the stone, what if you set it down? What if you looked at it, examined it, and learned from it? You don't need to forget the past, but you don't need to let it control your future either. Today, I invite you to reflect on this. What would happen if you forgave yourself? What would your life look like without the constant weight of self-blame? Close your eyes and imagine it for a moment. A life where you accept your humanity, where you see mistakes as opportunities, not punishments. In the next part, we'll explore how to begin this journey of self-forgiveness. For now, simply sit with this idea. You are more than your mistakes. You are worthy of kindness, even from yourself. Let's talk about forgiveness. Not for others, but for yourself. Many people say, I can forgive others, but I can't forgive myself. Why is that? Why are we so much harsher to ourselves than we are to the people around us? Perhaps it's because we believe we should be perfect. We set impossible standards for ourselves, and when we fail to meet them, we feel unworthy. But let me share something with you. In Buddhism, perfection is not the goal. The goal is to awaken, to grow, and to find peace in an imperfect world. Self-forgiveness is not about ignoring your mistakes. It's about facing them with honesty and compassion. Imagine that a close friend came to you, burdened by guilt. They told you about a mistake they made and how ashamed they feel. Would you respond by saying, yes, you're a terrible person and you'll never be good enough? Of course not. You would listen to them. You would remind them of their worth. So why not offer yourself that same kindness, Self-forgiveness begins with acknowledging what happened. What mistake did you make? How did it affect others? Be honest but gentle. This is not a time for judgment. It's a time for understanding. Next, reflect on what you've learned. Every mistake teaches us something. Maybe it showed you the importance of patience or the value of listening. Maybe it helped you see the needs of others more clearly. Whatever the lesson, hold on to it. Let it guide you forward. Then consider taking action. If your mistake hurt someone else, think about how you can make amends. It could be as simple as an apology, or as meaningful as changing your behavior. But remember, making amends is not about earning forgiveness from others. It's about aligning your actions with your values. And finally, let go. This is the hardest step, but also the most freeing. Forgiveness doesn't mean the past disappears. It means the past no longer controls your present. It's like cleaning a wound. At first it's painful, but without that process, healing cannot begin. Letting go doesn't happen all at once. It's a practice. When self-blame resurfaces, remind yourself of what you've learned and how you've grown. Repeat these words to yourself. I forgive myself for being imperfect. I forgive myself for being human. And as you say these words, notice the space they create within you. A space where guilt used to be. A space now filled with acceptance, with understanding, and with hope. You deserve this forgiveness. Not because you're flawless, but because you're trying. And that effort, that desire to grow, is what truly matters. In the final part, we'll talk about how self-forgiveness can transform not only your life, but also your relationships with others. For now, take a deep breath and hold on to this thought. You are worthy of a fresh start every single day. Now that we've talked about recognizing self-blame and the path to self-forgiveness, let's explore what happens when you truly embrace this journey. Forgiving yourself doesn't just transform your inner world, it changes the way you connect with others. When you are kind to yourself, you create space for greater compassion toward the people around you. Think about it. When you stop harshly judging yourself, you also stop harshly judging others. You become more patient, more understanding, more willing to see the humanity in others, their struggles, their imperfections, their attempts to do better. This shift can deepen your relationships, creating bonds that are built on acceptance rather than expectations. Self-forgiveness also frees you from fear. How many opportunities have you avoided because you were afraid of failing? How many moments of joy have you missed because you felt unworthy? When you let go of self-blame, you open the door to courage. You allow yourself to try, to grow, and to experience life fully. Imagine the ripple effects of this freedom. What dreams could you pursue? What passions could you reignite? What connections could you strengthen? Forgiving yourself is not just an act of kindness. It's a gateway to a more meaningful and joyful life. And remember, this is a practice. Some days will be easier than others, but each small step matters. Each time you choose self-compassion over self-criticism, you are creating a life that is lighter, brighter, and more aligned with who you truly are. If this message resonated with you, I encourage you to take one small step today. Maybe it's writing down something you've forgiven yourself for. Maybe it's sharing this video with a friend who might need to hear these words. Before we finish, I'd like to invite you to connect with this community. If you found value in this video, please take a moment to like it and subscribe to the channel. Your support allows us to continue sharing messages like this with people around the world. And if you'd like to explore more topics about personal growth, mindfulness, or finding peace, be sure to check out the other videos on this channel. There's so much to learn and so many ways to grow together. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Remember, you are not your mistakes. You are worthy of kindness, forgiveness, and a life filled with meaning. Take care, and I hope to see you again soon.